There's a famous saying that in life, winning isn't everything. But for Lee Jae-dong, nothing could be further from the truth. When you dedicate your whole life to one specific moment, there's only one goal: to win. StarCraft Brood War is a real-time strategy game released in 1998. When it first came out, it was mostly known as a cool space strategy game that you could play with your friends. However, today StarCraft Brood War is known for one thing above all: being the most competitive real-time strategy game ever created. During the early era of StarCraft Brood War, between 2000 and 2010, players dedicated their entire lives to becoming the best. Nothing embodied this dedication more than winning a golden mouse. To win a golden mouse, a player had to win the most prestigious televised Star League tournament of the time, known as the OSL. Not just once, but 3 times. Only 4 players in the history of the game have ever achieved this. This is the story of how Lee Jae-dong managed to do it in record-breaking time. When watching StarCraft for the first time, nothing seems extraordinary about the game. There are 3 factions: Terran, Protoss, and Zerg. And the main objective is to eliminate your enemy using strong strategies and precise unit control. But there was one player who became particularly famous for his incredible control of the Mutalisk: Jae-dong. By 2006, Jae-dong had recently dropped out of school and earned his pro gaming license after winning a tournament called Courage. He was then invited by an agent named Jacob to join LeCAF Oz, a professional StarCraft team. Jae-dong had a killer instinct and did pretty good for a rookie in his first year. It took him only 1 year to start defeating famous players like Reach, I Love Uv, and Nada, a former Golden Mouse winner himself. This earned him the nickname Legend Killer. 1 year later, in 2007, Jae-dong reached his first ever OSL Finals. After defeating many famous players, he faced one final boss: Stork. Known for his razor-sharp build orders and impeccable decision-making, Stork was the heavy favorite to win the OSL Finals. In the first game, Stork successfully defended against Jae-dong's aggressive style. Jae-dong attempted to rush Stork's mineral line with lurkers, but Stork's defense was too solid, making the score 1-0 in Stork's favor. In the second game, Jae-dong, under pressure, unleashed his impeccable micro with Scourge and Mutalisks, overwhelming Stork and evening the score at 1-1. The third game was a long back-and-forth battle, but Jae-dong's aggressive drops eventually turned the tide in his favor. Now, Jae-dong was only 1 game away from winning his first OSL title. In the fourth game, he was unstoppable, defending all of Stork's attacks and ultimately overwhelming him. At just 17 years old, Jae-dong had become an OSL champion. He couldn't believe it. Many players strive their whole lives to achieve this, but Jae-dong had done it in his first attempt. But his journey was far from over. He needed 2 more OSL titles to achieve the coveted Golden Mouse. The previous record holder for winning a Golden Mouse was none other than Nada, who achieved it in just 1,373 days. By 2009, Jae-dong was in peak form and widely considered the best Mutalisk player of all time. Just 1 week before his second OSL Finals, he stunned the world with a new type of Mutalisk micro, using 2 separate control groups instead of 1. On April 4th, 2009, Jae-dong faced Fantasy, one of the strongest Terran players at the time, known for his mechanical play with units like Vultures, Tanks, Wraiths, and Valkyries, which are particularly effective against Mutalisks. Despite Jae-dong being the favorite, Fantasy took the first game by brilliantly killing Jae-dong's Mutalisks with Valkyries and breaking through Jae-dong's defenses. The score was 1-0 in Fantasy's favor. In the second game, Fantasy's early Vulture harass gave him an economic edge, which he capitalized on with a massive mech push, bringing the score to 2-0. Jaedong's dreams hung by a thread. He had only one choice: to reverse sweep Fantasy, winning 3 games in a row. Under immense pressure is when Jaedong shines. When backed into a corner, he strikes back with relentless offense. He constantly attacked Fantasy, giving him no breathing room, and brought the score to 2-1. In the fourth game, Fantasy tried to hide a factory to sneak vultures into Jaedong's base, but Jaedong found it, giving him a small advantage. Later, while Fantasy was attacking Jaedong's front with wraiths, Fantasy landed his factory inside Jaedong's main base. However, Jaedong's Mutalisks arrived with zero mercy, bringing the score to 2-2. In the final game, Fantasy lost his vultures while attempting economic damage. Jaedong knew he had to strike hard with his Mutalisks to end the game right there. Jaedong completed the reverse sweep. One more OSL title to go. After defeating strong players like Zero and Fantasy to reach the finals, Jaedong faced Yellow Urk in a Zerg vs Zerg final. Yellow had recently defeated Flash, Light, and even Jaedong in a team match, making him a rising Zerg star. Many believe that Zerg vs Zerg was often determined by luck, but Jaedong had an incredible 81% win rate in the matchup at the time. In the first game, Jaedong didn't even bother with Mutalisks. He went straight for the kill with just Zerglings, bringing the score to 1-0 and putting Yellow under immense pressure. Both players teched to Mutalisks in the second game, and in the end, the player with the best control would win. Jaedong, attacking on multiple fronts and connecting with Scourge, made it look easy. The finals ended in a 3-0 sweep, and Jaedong had done it. He had achieved the fastest Golden Mouse in history, securing it in just 609 days, a record that still stands to this day and will never be broken.